Okay, so if he satisfies the condition, he will be called as resident. If he does not satisfy the conditions, he will be called as non-resident. Yeah. I want you to write down the notes also. Like I said, this is the section 4 we are going to discuss, charge of income. There is not much to discuss there anyway, section 4. Now, this is the important one, section 6. This is what we are discussing now. Okay. So based on this section 6, we are going to determine whether that person is a resident or not resident, or whether that person is a resident and ordinary resident, and resident but not ordinary resident. Okay, so what are all these ordinary resident, what are those not ordinary resident, we will discuss it right now. Okay, so whatever we are discussing, this is applicable for individual. Okay, this is applicable for individual. So they have given two sections. We are discussing section 6, and then there is also something called as section 6 subsection 1 explanation 1b. Okay, again, don't worry, you don't need to remember the section numbers. Okay, this is just for the understanding. So let me call it as special provisions, right? Special provision. So whatever we are discussing about, let me write it properly. So we are talking about residence, right? So one is special provision, another one is basic provision. So instead of just reading the provisions, I am already giving in a note format. Okay, I am explaining here. So when you read the provision, you will be automatically understand. Okay, so what is meant by special provision? Let's discuss this first. So if condition 1, if an individual, sorry, just a second, an Indian citizen or person of Indian origin. So from, I'm gonna refer this as POI, person of Indian origin. Okay, so our Indian citizen, he should be an assessee. Assessee means we are determining a residence of a person. Let's just say there is a Sam. Now we want to find out whether Sam is a resident or non-resident. How do I know? I need to apply this provision. First, special provisions. So we need to check whether Sam is an Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin. What is meant by person of Indian origin? Person of Indian origin means, okay, so either individual, that means himself, assessee himself, or his parents, or his grandparents, right? So either individual or his parents or his grandparents, born in undivided India. They are born in, or they are from undivided India. You know what is undivided India, right? So then that person will be called as person of Indian origin. Okay, that means like when India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, everything was there. So if that person, either that person born in an undivided India or his parents or grandparents from undivided India, then we will consider that person as a person of Indian origin, right? If he is not, okay, if he is, or else we wouldn't consider him as a person of Indian origin. Let's just say one person like settled in USA right now, but his parents or his grandparents are born in undivided India, then we will call him as person of Indian origin. Okay, now either Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin. So whatever we are talking about, an SSC must be either Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin. Next, condition 2. He is visiting India. Who is visiting in India? He is a Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin. He is visits India. Visits India when? In the previous year. Okay. Then condition number 3. His total income. Total income is a very big word, like again discussed in the last class. Like total income means like he has he's a PGBP, profits and gains from business or profession, capital gains, income from other sources. Like we have heads of income, right? So if you combine all those things, we will call it as total income. Okay, again, if you don't know anything at all, that we will discuss later. So for now, you just, it's a normal meaning, his total income minus income from foreign source, minus income from foreign source. Foreign source is greater than 15 lakhs. Okay, so in nothing but, see, your total income, let's just say like I'm a doctor, okay, and also I got some house, because of that I'm getting a rental, okay, or there is some fixed deposit, because of that I'm getting an interest. Like this, I will add all my income, and from that, if I'm getting any income from foreign source, let's just say like some of my clients from foreign are paying money to me, that I'm going to deduct it. So then I will check. Let's just say my total income is 50 lakhs. Out of that, 10 lakhs is from foreign. So remaining is 40 lakhs. 40 lakhs is obviously greater than 15 lakhs, right? So then this condition is satisfied. So in other words, we can say that the third condition is like your Indian income. Only your Indian income is greater than 15 lakhs. Then we will consider sorry, the condition 3 is satisfied. So now we want all conditions to be satisfied. If all conditions to be satisfied, then what will happen? All conditions satisfied, then special provisions applicable. So whatever we have discussed so far, like to check whether these provisions are applicable or not, this just applicability. If condition 1, condition 2, condition 3 satisfied, then the special provisions is applicable. Everybody understood? Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes,
can
sir.
I can say like this: an Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin visits India in the previous year, whose total income, right, whose total income minus income from foreign sources is greater than 15 lakhs. For him, the special provisions are applicable. Okay, now he satisfied all the conditions. Okay, he satisfied all the conditions, then special provisions are applicable, right? Okay, what are the special provisions? We need to check. So here there are something called as basic conditions, basic condition, and additional conditions. Additional conditions. Now, basic condition 1. Basic condition 1 is that this person, whoever we are talking about, that assessee, in the previous year, he should stay more than 182 days in India. Right here, that means equal or 182 days. Like it's like, more than 182 days or exact 182 days, he should stay in India. Then we will consider it as like, this basic condition 1 is satisfied. Then basic condition 2. Basic condition 2. In the previous year, he should stay more than or equal to 120 days and in 4 preceding previous years. Okay, preceding previous year, if you want you can write it separately. Preceding previous year. Preceding previous year means what? Like let's just say we are in 2022 is the previous year, then go to 2021, then 2020, 2019, 2018, like last 4 years. In other words, last 4 years he should stay more than or equal to 365 days. Right, so what is basic condition 2 here? He should stay in India in the previous year 120 days, right? Or in the last 4 preceding previous years 365 days, okay, or more than that. Then basic condition 2 is satisfied. Okay, now here, if he satisfies any one basic condition, either 1 or 2, if he satisfies any one basic condition, then he will be called as resident. If he is not satisfying, then he will be called as non-resident. Okay, so first we will write all these things. We will get a super clarity about this only when we do questions on this, or else we won't get a clarity. Okay, now so basic condition 1, in the previous year he stayed more than 182 days, or basic condition 2, in the previous year he stayed 120 days, and in the last 4 preceding previous years he stayed more than 365 days. If any one condition satisfies, then he will be called as resident. Okay, these are basic conditions. If it did not satisfy, then he will be non-resident. Then what we're going to do is we're going to check after he satisfied any one of the basic conditions, then he became a resident. If he become a non-resident, then leave it, no problem. Okay, let's just say he became a resident. Then check additional conditions. So what are these additional conditions? So in the additional condition 1, okay, so basic condition 1 must satisfy. Additional condition 2, in the last 7 preceding previous years he stayed more than 730 days. Additional condition 3, he is resident. Okay, I'm gonna write this one. He is resident in 2 previous years out of 10 preceding previous year. What is meant by he is resident? Resident means we already know a person who satisfies any one of the basic condition. If he satisfies any one of the basic condition, he will become a resident. Like that, in the last 10 preceding previous years, at least he should satisfy either more than or equal to two preceding previous in 2 previous years he is a resident. In other words, in last 10 years he should be resident at least for 2 years. Then additional condition 3 is satisfied. So first of all, why are we checking these additional conditions? Okay, what is this additional conditions anyway? If he satisfies additional conditions, okay, then he will become resident and ordinary resident. Okay, he should satisfy all additional conditions, all satisfied. We will check all. He should satisfy all conditions, then he will become resident and ordinarily resident. Ordinarily resident, in other words ROR we will call it as. Okay, if he did not satisfy any of the condition, let's just say he satisfied 1, 2, he did not satisfy 3. Okay, if not, he will be called as RNOR. That means resident but not ordinarily resident, but not ordinarily resident. Okay, so if you see here, while checking the additional conditions, first condition itself, basic condition 1 must satisfy. That means what is basic condition 1? In the previous year he should have stayed more than 182 days, right? If any one condition is not satisfied, then he is RNOR. If all conditions satisfy, then he will be ROR. Okay, now you might ask, why does it matter ROR and why does it matter RNOR? That will come later in the scope of total income. I will tell you now only little bit. See, if he is a ROR, then we will charge global income. That means wherever he is earning money, like let's just say he is working in the USA or he is working in Australia and earning money not at all related to India, but still he has to pay tax in India. Okay, but if he is a RNOR, then we won't tax it. If it is Indian income, we will tax it. If he is a non-resident, okay, if he is a non-resident of India, then also we will tax only if it is a Indian income. If let's just say somebody is living in USA, never came to India, and then he is earning some money, why do we tax it, right? He is a non-resident, he did not came India, he did not satisfy any condition. Let's just say he came for India just to visit or something, just he stayed for 10 days or 15 days, so he did not satisfy any condition, then he is a non-resident. If you are a non-resident, if you are getting any money from India, then only we will tax it. All those things we are going to discuss about the scope of total income. So I have explained that part here to to tell you the importance of finding out whether he is a ROR, whether he is a RNOR, or whether he is a NR, that means non-resident, or he is a resident, right? Just to explain the importance. So based on this status, based on his residential status only, we will decide whether we need to tax that income or not. Okay, or sometimes if he is a resident, we will give some deductions. If he is a non-resident, we don't give. Okay, so it is very important to determine the residential status. Is everybody clear on these basic conditions and additional conditions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now whatever we discussed is special provisions. That means this is applicable for a person, he is an Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin. This is important. Who is visiting India? That means what? Let's just say you was somebody who went to US, and then who, you got a job and you stayed there, and then after 3 or 4 years you were coming back to India, you were visiting to India when in the previous year. Okay, so in the previous year, you all, I think you should know what is previous year, what is assessment year. Is there anybody who does not know what is previous year and what is assessment year? So, I think everybody must have known it now. So he is visiting in India in the previous year and his income is more than, his Indian income is more than 15 lakhs. Then only this special provisions is applicable, or else it is not applicable. Okay, so basically we are targeting here the people who are coming from abroad and then staying in India or doing some business in India. Okay, then if they are earning any Indian income, then we need to tax it. Now coming to the basic provisions, whatever we have discussed now, like mostly similar will be there here also. Basic provisions, first thing we start with basic conditions. Basic conditions. Basic condition 1. In the previous year, you should have stayed more than 182 days. Same as the special provision basic condition, nothing difference. Okay. And then basic condition 2. Okay. In previous year, if you are staying more than or equal to 60 days, this is important. So here in the basic in the special provision, okay, here 120 days, here it is 60 days. That is the only difference. Okay. And in the last 4 preceding previous years, you are staying more than 365 days. Okay. Make sure you guys write this down. Then if you satisfy any one basic condition, again here also any one only, any one basic condition, then you will be called as resident. Guys, please respond. And if not,
non-resident.
Good, non-resident, right? Now again we need to check additional conditions. See, basic conditions are checked to determine whether he is a resident or non-resident, right? Additional conditions are checked to determine whether you are a ROR or RNOR. Okay, now additional condition 1. Let's just say when we check the basic conditions, okay, it is already confirmed that he is a non-resident, right? When we tested this basic conditions, so he did not satisfy any one of the basic conditions, then he is a non-resident, right? Then do we need to check additional conditions? Do we need to check additional conditions? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
See, additional conditions are checked to determine resident and ordinarily resident. Or if he is not satisfied, he will become resident but not ordinary resident. See, what is common here is a resident. Okay. If he is not a resident, then we don't check only additional conditions, right? So first we will check the basic conditions to determine whether he is a resident or non-resident. If he is non-resident, then you don't need to go to the additional conditions. Okay, additional conditions are checked. He is already resident, but we need to check whether he is a ordinary resident or not ordinary resident. Okay, understood?
Yes, sir.
So if the basic conditions are not satisfied, don't check the additional conditions. If the basic conditions are satisfied, then only check the additional conditions. Okay, additional condition 1. So here in the last 7 preceding previous years, okay, you stayed more than 730 days. 730 or more, you have stayed in India. Okay, then additional condition is 1 is satisfied. Then again additional condition 2. If you have stayed in India or you are a resident of India in 2 out of 10 preceding previous years. Okay, that means you are a resident in 2 out of 10 preceding previous year, then then additional condition will be satisfied. So if you satisfy both additional conditions, okay, both, then he will be called as, if both satisfied, if both satisfied, then he will be called as resident and ordinary resident. If not, then he will be called as resident, not ordinary resident. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now let's do some questions in case if it is given in our book, so we'll get a clarity on this, and also I will tell you what are the points we have discussed. So this part is done. Okay, so whatever we are doing, okay, same thing will be done for HUF. In HUF there will be something called as karta. Okay, so if the karta is resident, okay, if individual or HUF is resident in India, they will be either ROR or NNOR. Okay, it depends upon karta. If karta is resident and ordinary resident, HUF also resident and ordinary resident. If karta is nothing but head of the family, a person. Anyway, that part we're gonna discuss a little bit later. So now we are done with this. Okay, done with this. Now we have completed all these things. We have to do this part and then do this part as well. Like we discussed, if any individual does not satisfy any one of the basic condition, then he will be called as non-resident, right? Now resident and ordinary resident, when he will be, so he is satisfying any one of the basic condition. Remember that additional conditions you have to satisfy all. If it is a basic conditions, you have to satisfy any one. If you satisfy any one of the basic conditions and both additional conditions, then you will be called as ROR, right? If you are satisfying any one of the basic conditions but none of the additional conditions or any one of the additional conditions, then you are a resident and ordinary resident. Did you understand what I said? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So Priya, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me, so this is basic condition 1, 2, additional condition 1, 2. Now tell me, he is a resident or non-resident or ROR or NOR?
Sir, he is a resident, but he is not an ordinary resident because basic conditions is a single basic condition is satisfied, but not both of the addition conditions are satisfied. That's why he is not an ordinary resident.
Yes, he is a resident because any one of the basic condition is satisfied. He is not ordinary resident because one of the additional condition is not satisfied. Very good, right? If he satisfied all the additional conditions, then he would have become ROR. Okay, very good. Now, so this part is done. Again, done. Now there is some points which we need to know a little bit. Like here I am talking about the days. We need to calculate the he's staying 182 days, right? So we are talking about arrival and departure. Departure means leaving India, arrival means you are coming to India, right? So let's just say you came to India on 21st. So then 21st will be considered in 182 days. You are leaving India on 22nd. That means you are leaving India. That means you stayed in India that day, right? So that 22 also will be considered while calculating 182 days. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, see this point what I am trying to say. While determining the residential status, the day of leaving, that means departure, and returning, arrival to India should be considered as a stay in India. And we already discussed this part also. Person of Indian origin is one who is or either his parents, grandparents were born in undivided India, or he only born in undivided India, then also he will be considered as a person of Indian origin. Okay, let's just Sam assume born in undivided India, then he went to USA. Okay, even though he is in USA right now, still he will be called as person of Indian origin because he born in undivided India. Or if his parents or his grandparents, then we call him as person of Indian origin. And remember that citizenship is different and person of Indian origin is different. And also we don't care while doing the taxation, like when he will become a citizen, what are the conditions he need to satisfy. That is not our law. We don't need to study that here in taxation. Okay, so these 2 points we have done. Check out the illustration 3. Mr. A, an Indian citizen. Okay, immediately whenever you are reading any question, first apply the special provisions. If the special provisions are not applicable, then only go for the basic provisions. Okay, just give me a second. So whatever I said, right, so you are talking about, so where is that special provision? Is here, this part. Okay, so this is special provision. Can you find out what is the difference between the special provision and additional provisions if it is a calculations, if it is a numbers, right? In the basic condition, in the special provision it is 120 days, and then here it is in this basic conditions it is 60 days. If it is a regular provision or basic provision, it is 60 days. If it is a special provision, it is 120 days. That is the only difference. Nothing else difference is there. Okay. Now again, if you see this part, however, a citizen or a person of Indian origin, citizen means Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin, in the above cases having total income other than income from foreign sources exceeding 15 lakh rupees during the previous year, for the word 60 days occurring therein, the word 120 days had been substituted. So this highlighted thing, same thing I have explained in condition 1, condition 2, condition 3. If all these conditions are satisfied, then this special provision, whatever they are talking about, like instead of 60 days, 120 days is applicable. So you don't want to confuse by reading this. So you just I have already given in the note format, right? So whenever you're reading the question, first apply the special provision. Check, is a Indian citizen? Yes or no? If it is condition satisfied, then go to the condition 2, right? Is visiting in India during the previous year? Check, yes or no? If it is yes, go to the condition 3. If he is satisfied all, then apply the special provisions, right? If not, go to the basic provisions. Okay, now this question, right? Mr. A, an Indian citizen living in Mumbai since 1950. He left for China on 1st July 2018 and comes back on 1st August 7, 2023. Determine his residential status for the assessment year 2024 and 25. Okay, so assessment year 2024 and 25. So what will be the previous year? 23 and 24. Now apply the special provisions. Anybody? Special provision. What is the condition 1?
Indian origin.
Indian citizen.
Indian citizen or person of Indian origin. Is it satisfied
Yes, sir.
in this question? Yeah, so satisfied. Then condition 2. What is condition 2?
Visits India.
Is visits India in
Previous year.
What is previous year? 2023 and 24.
23,
Now is he visiting in India?
Yes, sir.
Check again, read again. Is he visiting in India?
So he's not visiting India. He went from
He's
India
leaving
to
India.
China. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
he's going to China. So he is not visiting in India in the previous year. He is leaving India in previous year. That means condition 2 is not satisfied. if the condition 2 is not satisfied. That means, like, all conditions need to be satisfied, right? So condition 3 we don't need to check also, because if any one of the condition is not satisfied, then special provisions are not applicable. Then come to the basic provisions. Now basic provisions, what is the condition 1? Basic condition 1.
Stayed in India for more than
182 days, right?
Hmm.
And
This is
what is this basic condition 2?
previous year more than or equal to 60 days.
In previous year he should stayed in 60 days,
60 days
right?
at least.
And
And
in
for places
preceding
preceding
previous year he should have stayed
365
days.
days.
365 days, right? In the preceding previous year, how many preceding previous years?
4.
4. So in the last 4 years he should have stayed 365 days. If any one of the basic condition is satisfied, then he will be resident, or else he is a non-resident. Now check this question. In the previous year, that means first one, 2023 and 24, he should have stayed 182 days. Okay. In 2000, see, they said that from 1950 he is living, we don't concern all those things. And then he left China in 2018. Okay, sorry, he did not leave China in previous year. He left for China in 2018. Anyway, that also not relevant for here. And he comes back when? First on August 7, 2023. So here we need to determine his stay in India in previous year. So can I consider August 7 or not?
We
Can I consider?
it.
I can consider, right? Because
Yes, sir.
that he's arriving date,
No, for arrival.
departure date, both will be considered. Okay, from August 7 to what is the end of the year?
The
31st
Which year I
March.
mean?
March 31st.
31st March. What year?
24.
Very good.
20.
So 31st March 24. March 24. So August 7, 2023 to 31st March 24 we need to check. Okay. Now so stay in India, right? So total in August how many days will be there? 30 or 31?
31.
31 days will be there. Out of 31 days, how many days he did not stay in India?
6.
6 days.
Very good. Because 7 we will consider. 7 is stayed there. So 6. So 31 minus 6 you will get
5.
31 minus 6 you will get 25, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So you calculate like that. August 25. Then again September, October, November, December, January, February, March. So if you add all these things, what is the number you are getting? 238. Right? See, it might seem very simple calculation, but make sure that guys, like like the dates, like is the years, is the month starting from 30 or 30, how many days in a month, 30 or 31, and also what date he is coming, right? Whether we consider that or not. So make sure you pay attention to that. So 238 days. That means basic condition 1 is satisfied. If the basic condition 1 is satisfied, do I need to check the basic condition 2?
No, sir. He is a
Yes,
resident.
sir.
Right. See, anyway, I just want only one condition. Right? If any one of the basic condition is satisfied, that is fine. In case if he is not satisfying basic condition 1, then only I need to check the basic condition 2. Okay. Now he is a resident. Is a resident. Now we are done with this question. Now, if you want to say, like if they ask like whether he is a resident or ordinary resident, or resident not ordinary resident, how would we decide? We need to check what? We need to check.
Additional
Additional
condition.
conditions.
Okay, what is additional condition 1?
7 preceding years he lives more than 730 days in India.
Or
Okay.
equal to.
Or
Okay,
equal.
in the last 7 preceding previous year, 730 days, or he's a resident 2 out of 10 previous year. Hmm? Okay, so he should satisfy both conditions, right? If you satisfy
Yes.
both, then only will be ROR, or else RNOR. Now check. So I want 7 preceding previous years. So what is